Hello my friends, Takuya here, and welcome back, finally back, to our continuation of Kaiserredux A2Z. Yes, my friends, I know it's been a while. It's been like, what, 2 or 3 months at this point since we did our last episode. But I promised that we were going to go through every single nation in this godforsaken crazy game. The world in which Germany won World War I, and everything is absolutely broken. So to continue with our A to Z playthrough, the nation that we're going to be playing today is insane. I've done a little bit of playtesting in here to check this out, and I will say this right now, but the paths in it are batshit, to say the least, with some of them being so insane that it results in me wanting to destroy my own brain cells, even while it destroys itself. I am talking about Deutsch Middle Africa. Yes, my friends, in the aftermath of World War I, Germany would take control of large swaths of Africa, divvying it up into varying different colonies, which would have somewhat loose allegiance to the Kaiser, but then some of these would be under the control of like colonial states, others would be associated with allies, and it's just... the whole thing is a kind of mess down here. The organization of all this is supposed to be under Deutsch Middle Africa. Specifically, this is the overall colonial entity, the one that we're going to be playing today, under the control of... It's a colonial oligarchy, basically. Which sounds pretty bad from the very beginning, but my friends, we can make this oh so much worse. To start things off here in 1936, we have... amazingly enough, not zero, but negative 199 power. We can't do anything politically. At the very least, we start with 3 research slots, so that is something. We can go ahead and get all this going. And with that, let's go ahead and figure out what we're going to be doing. Annual financial statement. In order to further assert our control over Africa, it is necessary to take inventory of our administrators and staff and coordinate a plan of action. Our first step to overview our annual earnings to see just how much profit we've made, or lack thereof, considering Black Monday is going to be coming. In the heart of Africa, born after the absorption of French colonies gained by the treaty after the Weltkrieg, Middle Africa is a massive swath of land, composed of cities, chiefdoms, kingdoms, farmlands, jungles, savannas, deserts, and more. It covers half the dark continent. A complex web of treaties, agreements, and tacit understandings, the colony, while stable, is remarkably unprofitable, in no part due to the continued protection of the British colonies. Placed under our suzerainty following the 1925 British Revolution, Kenya, Uganda, Nigeria, and Zambia's administration is funded by Middle African profits. Our Statthalter, Wilhelm Solf, and Heinrich Schnee of Ostafrika have thus far managed to keep our bureaucracy on good terms with our French, British, and Belgian patrons. But trouble is brewing. The old guard is challenged by a new clique who seek to centralize Middle Africa further under German rule. And within them, and their sinister cabal of extremists, is led by Hermann von Goring, who wants to exploit our good patrons for their personal gain. Oh my god, we can bring back Goring. Yes. My friends, you know exactly what we're going to have to do. Unfortunately, the Portuguese think the same thing, because with the Mozambique situation, they're going to be trying to kill us and destabilize our African colonies. That's fun. So, we have then the new colonial group. The NKG, or Neue Colonial Gruppe, stands as the main political challenge to the long-standing dominance of the DKG, composed of a few German veterans who had broken off from the DKG, like Franz Ritter, von Epp, and Reinhard Heydrich, who now lead a band of younger, more ravenous officers and soldiers in defiance of the status quo. Seeking a larger, more centralized, and more Germanized Middle Africa, the NKG cares not for obstacles such as human rights and the like, and instead only solely focus on increasing the Kaiserreichs and, in turn, their own power and fortunes. But then, even within this group is people who are even more radical. Goring, the head of a small group of national radicals known as the Sovereignisten. This group of sovereignists secretly plot to surpass the centralization effort of the NKG and instead seek to build up Middle Africa as a truly independent state that is on equal footing to the Kaiserreich. Nationalist German Africa. How does that play out? So internal Middle Africa is of course highly unstable. We have this whole thing where we can change the varying different decision-making things. And I guess that there's not really much that we can do here. We're not going to try to prevent the collapse of Middle Africa, because if we're going the path that I think we're going, it's, there's no stability to be found here. A sad state of affairs. Middle Africa has been in a tense situation ever since its creation, barely holding on through a complex set of deals, alliances, and sometimes brute force. But with Black Monday, the economy flatlined almost immediately, with our debt increasing faster than ever before. Our currency, which is linked to the German empires, has become as worthless as the paper it is made with. Now our government has been given an unpleasant task, to say the least: fix the crisis or prepare for unforeseen consequences that could change the fate of the continent. Adds tremendous debt and rapidly destroys my political power. Yeah, that's not going to go away until we get to 0, actually. So that's fun. And by fun, I mean it gets significantly worse. Minus 300 political power and gets the thing dead economy. Amazing. I love it. Riveting gameplay from the very start now, shall we? Immediately, as soon as all this happens, Wilhelm Solf, our leader, dies. Yeah, things are not peaceful, though. There's the whole thing with Muslims rioting constantly, varying different ethnic groups that are fighting each other, open rebellion in Kenya, how lovely. But the chief threat to the Shni and the DKG is the NKG, the coalition of eager young officers and disillusioned old guard that have rallied around figures like Franz Ritter, von Epp, and Reinhard Heydrich while nominating the ever-ambitious Hermann Goring as their frontline candidate in the race for Statthalter. Who is it that we choose? Hope that Goring can solve this? No, Schnee is the logical choice. Nah, we're bringing Goring in, baby. Look at you! Wait, Thessians Middle Africa. The new colonial group has stolen the mandate of rule from the Deutsche Kolonialschaft following the death of Statthalter Wilhelm Solf. Fun. I guess I get 400 political power. Thanks. What are the things that I can even do here? We're inching closer to collapse as time goes on, so that's absolutely lovely. And I have no political power to do any of these things, but oh. Oh my God. I can become a drug dealer. What? Wait a minute. You're telling me that I can become an opium dealer in order to be able to get more political power? Hermann von Goring, ever looking for ways to increase his influence in Middle Africa, has apparently been in talks with his compatriots in Ostasien who have collectively approached us with a suggestion. Goring owns several plantations in Tanga and Dodoma, which he is willing to donate to the state so long as we assist him in growing Afghan opium on them to then sell on the black market. He assures us that he will not get in legal trouble if Berlin gets word of this, but the consequences of introducing so much illegal opium onto our streets could be totally unforeseeable. Oh my God, opium epidemic. Yeah, no, I need the political power. Let's do it. Goring is approved, even as we sell opium. So that, my friends, then allows us to do things like the 4-year plan. Completing this focus will unlock new economy decisions. Trouble is brewing in Europe and Asia. The syndicalists grow bolder every time or every day while our military has become complacent. We must plan a timetable for our economy and military to ensure that we are ready to support the fatherland in any way possible. Ooh, military factories. Yes, let's go ahead and get that done. The Kenyatta Solf affair. Our administration has been watching with nervous anticipation the progression of the Kenyatta Solf affair, in which a Kikuyu lawyer is leading a class action lawsuit against former Statthalter Wilhelm Solf. Fortunately, the defense lawyer, Hans Frank, produced a novel defense that has established a new legal precedent. Sovereign is he who decides on the exception. The courts accepted the argument that the Statthalter is the sovereign authority in Africa and has the right to step outside normal legal proceedings. This obviously has stirring implications, and some members of our administration already anticipate a sovereign Statthalter, which means I can do whatever the hell I want. With the 4-year plan, that means the next step after this would be, let's see, Heydrich reforms, which builds some naval bases, nice. Reforms the army, okay, that's fine. And Die Neue Volksschau arrives at, what? Building on the techniques of Karl Hagenbeck in the early 20th century, we can put together the world's greatest and most profitable ethnological exposition of the world. With over 1,000 performers, it will sure bring in profit while still serving the public diplomacy of our administration. Oh my God, we're shipping a bunch of people overseas as basically freak shows. Oh my God, it's that racist thing from the 20th century. Holy crap. Well, let's do it. Along with that, I can go and harvest blood diamonds. Oh my God. What? Yeah, sure. Why not? Through these actions, just by, becoming a drug dealer, I guess, we've cleared our debt. Most of the government expected the worst. Everyone expected our economy to remain dead, but somehow we're no longer poor. This announcement has our entire government baffled. No one expected us to actually fix our economy or actually be functioning by the end of Black Monday, but somehow, maybe with divine intervention from some higher being, we did it. We did it in the span of like a month. Bending the concept of sovereignty, flying across the unnamed village deep in the heart of the Serengeti as he dropped grenades and fired his gold-plated Walther PPK pistol from the cockpit of his beloved old Albatross DV biplane that he once flew as an ace back in the Great War. Hermann Goring has once again taken it upon himself to dispense a little justice, law, and order on the unruly tribal masses that inhabit the Dark Continent's darkest reaches. Oh my God, can I even say half these things? What the hell? Not an uncommon occurrence, Goring claims these outbursts of fury are well within his rights as given to him and his colonial commission by the Kaiser, waving his wax-sealed stamp warrant about as he flies and yells aloud his various controversial ambitions, views, and theories, and exclaiming that sovereign is he who decides the exception. Goring brings fire and death to any who oppose him, and many who don't, while using a flimsy paper that largely just gives him the right to arrest the enemies of the crown so that they may face the crown's justice. Always one to bend the rules to his own wants and needs, the fact is glazed over and covered in ash and blood as the Albatross takes flight. with one of Germany's greatest and maddest aces at the stick once again. Oh my god, man. He kills 50 people. What is this? Oh my god, my folk thing is arriving in Berlin. Okay, you know, it's popular. It's giving us stability, which I guess we need to kind of hang on for at least a little bit. Now to protect endangered species, because, yeah, I guess that's what Goring would do. I think he's making more endangered species at this rate, to be honest. Better call Hans. Better call Saul. As Berlin looks upon Hermann Goring's wild actions at Statthalter and as a legal representative of the Kaiserreich with more and more scrutiny, especially in light of certain recent events, such as Goring's violent flights above native villages. The revelation that he is running his own secret political group called the Sovereignisten, his use of prison labor, and violent reprisals against the natives, his growing substance abuse issues, and abuse of power issues, corruption, and so much more, the scheming fox of Middle Africa has turned to the one and only Hans Frank, the premier jurist for the Sovereignisten, Goring's own personal lawyer, a member of the esoteric Thule Society, and face of scuzzy justice and judicial corruption across the Kaiserreich. A staunch supporter of the self-serving, corrupt nationalist his employers subscribe to, and the inventor of the sovereign Statthalter defense that Goring now wields as a carte blanche to do whatever he pleases in the name of the Kaiser, Frank is who shall be Goring's corner as the black dossier comes to light and the Kenyatta Sol affair kicks into a dreadful action. Oh my god. What the hell? Next up here to abuse the Catholic Church. Yes, of course, because that definitely needs to be done. And let's go ahead and get ourselves a research slot. I guess with all that being done, now it's this time to do the Schutzgebiete as the situation at home worsens and our funds run dry. The protected areas beg for help, lest they be dragged down with us. And when they call, we will answer. The Schutzgebiete, and we have responded to their calls. Yes, we help everyone. And by that, I mean we're probably not going to help for anything. I want to see the world burn. Kenyan Church? No. Suppress both the Anglican and the Kikuyu schools. German only. Goringschaften, named after Hermann von Goring, the Goringschaften naval base will be the largest in the Indian Ocean, dwarfing even Singapore or Karachi. Once completed, it will bring Middle Africa Squadron under our direct supervision and out of Governor Heydrich's hands. But first, we deal with the French. Africa Schlosse, the richest of Africa's rich, have come to reside in Ostafrika. While here they have tried to bring the luxuries of the Vaterland home with them, including the vast castles of Germans. So they're building German castles in Africa. Rumors of these castles being built with human bones are nothing but silly myths. Wow. Another police officer shot. Okay. Everything is going to burn down. All right. With the Cape to Cairo Railway, that means the next step after that will be industrial development. Yes. Whoa, wait. The DKAEB goes bankrupt. The Deutsche Kaiserlich Absen what has gone bankrupt. Our primary export link running from the Congo to Djibouti has been forced to close down and large amounts of people are jobless. Another police officer gets shot. Great. And I can't do anything now. I guess with industry done, we now go and try to stabilize Uganda. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Divest our native education. With our dire financial state, education for the natives is not actually a priority worth investing in anymore. Are we the baddies? Yeah, no, we're definitely the baddies. Goring's true intentions revealed to the NKG. After careful and quiet investigation from paid snitches and informants within Goring's young officer clique, a small but growing clique within the NKG, the full extent of Hermann Goring's maniacal acts and ambitions have come to light. The chief figures within the NKG, namely Heydrich von Epp, have realized that Goring is nothing but a madman hell-bent on total domination within Middle Africa as solace for his removal from the German political scene. Seeking to ride the wave of popularity generated by his young officer clique, Goring planned to take the position of Statthalter and rapidly push towards total sovereignty from the Kaiserreich, full parity with the Kaiser's position, and seeks to expand his colonial fiefdom until it consumes all of Africa. These insane dreams could only have been invented within the mind of a madman, and the NKG has begun to fully understand just how dangerous Goring is. Oh, god dang it. The corruption investigation. No. Goring corrupt? No. Quash it. No. He is fine. Mercenaries arrive. The Kaiser's warrant. Seeing von Goring fiercely resist any attempted official investigation, the German government had seen fit to issue a arrest warrant for the Statthalter on the grounds of obstruction of justice. No. The sovereign is he who decides the exception. Screw you. We are independent now. Portugal stands against us. Send in the troops. Attack! We are now at war with Portugal. Let's seize all their colonies. With that, my friends, we unlock a special tree, a sovereign state. This is not a path that we should tread lightly. Forces both within and without will try and stop us. No. We're doing it. We get ourselves to become a sovereign state. We will take everything. New plantation opened. All right, we get that. Next step after this, establish the Lion Society. Africa has long been rumored to harbor secret societies like the Leopard and Crocodile Societies, who are supposedly responsible for many unsolved murders and criminal acts. We can borrow this air of mystique for our own growing body of assassins and illicit enterprises. After that, revenge on traitors. Goring brush with prison was a close call, and the ones who are determined to bring him down must pay. Such a plot against the sovereign stadtholder is paramount to treason, and will be treated as such. The Portuguese surrender. We've defeated the Portuguese in Africa, and they have started negotiations to surrender. We're gonna take everything. Thank you. All the colonial holdings. All of it. See, are we not the most glorious leader? I think that we are. Retaliation for the Black Dossier. Our administration has maintained its now sovereign rule only by the skin of its teeth. The corruption inquiry could have been seen von Goring and many of our senior officials spend the rest of their lives in jail. We now have the opportunity to return the favor. While an official retaliation will be difficult, we can use our growing criminal network, the Lion Society, to seek retaliation against these conspirators and reinforce our rule in Middle Africa. Yeah, no, of course. Why not? That's the polite, the very demure thing to do right now. Please don't hate me. With that, my friends, we can end the protectorates. Middle Africa has always been a patchwork of treaties established with various African kingdoms, which retain their autonomy and royalty in exchange for acceptance of German sovereignty. It's time to end this. We will have one law and one sovereign entity in Middle Africa. Our first target. Oh God, I'm killing people. Oh, that's fun. We're targeting like military officials now, so that's fascinating. A hunting accident. Oh no. Yeah, this seems stable. Absolutely. After this, we abolish local self-governance, and then we achieve unlimited power. Africa goes quiet. Something is wrong. Very wrong. We're no longer hearing back from the border garrisons. Supply convoys are being raided at an alarming rate. Many native elements of our troops are deserting, and we still haven't heard a thing from the dependencies. The atmosphere is tense like it's never been before. Oh, this is it. Yep, the war's about to break out. Wait, the Allenkamfer breakaway. Goring's recent moves have gone too far in the eyes of the much of the Altenkamp from Middle Africa. As he erects his personal fiefdom, the rest of the old guard watches with disgusted look. But the passiveness continues no longer. Berthold von Demming and the rest of the Altenkampfer have seceded from Goring's camp, hoping to create a strong and stable resistance against the mad king of Middle Africa. With this evaporation of Goring's strongest and most well-respected allies, many feel the burning glare of the Kaiser's will finally shed light on this wretched place. Unless a miracle occurs, Goring's days in power are numbered. Oh no. Oh no. Where is it? Congo Kingdom? Over here? What am I supposed to do? Quick, tap into illicit markets. All right, there's one of these groups taken out. Boom. Take, seize, mine, yoink. Oh, here we go. Fall Helgren. Our attempt to subjugate Middle Africa has, quite frankly, not worked. Our local vassals and many of our administrators have all denounced Stadtholder von Goring's rightful rule, and stirrings of rebellion are abound everywhere. Thankfully, von Goring has a plan. He has retreated with a cabal of his loyalists to his castle in Tanga, and now makes war with the remainder of Middle Africa in an attempt to assert his dominance by force of arms. Unfortunately for you, someone had to be left in charge of the crumbling German African Empire. The fire rises. Okay, so this just breaks everything apart. Goring shall be the salvation of German Africa, creates the country of Goringia, or he manages to retake control of Middle Africa in their darkest hour. No. Goringia. Goringia is what we're going to have. Oh, God. What is this? What is this crap? Look at this portrait! Hermann Goring has seen a lot of his time, but perhaps the most profound experience of his life was the collapse of Middle Africa. Now he had the power he has the power he always craved. Now he had control of more resources than most men could ever imagine. However, Goring was not content to sit around on what he was given. Instead, he had decided to make something of these circumstances. Goring has begun to work of transforming his territory into what he calls Goringia, a realm in which his word is gospel and every whim is followed. This will be no easy task, though. The economy is crumbling, the natives complain about their 16-hour workdays, and Goring's rivals crowd around him. With his old friends in German industry and his new ones in African drug trade, though, Goring is confident that he has the talent and resources he needs to overcome all these threats. One day, the world might even see a new Middle Africa. What do we have here focus tree-wise? Restoring order to the continent, our dark continent, is Goring's sacred mission. We declare war on Rwanda, Burundi, and Zanzibar. Oh God, what do I even have in here? Why do I control this little bitty tiny territory? Am I not at war with all? I am at war with all this. Okay, well, you know what? Let's just go ahead and consolidate our position on all this here real quick. We just need to be able to take basically everything, and then once we finish this off, we'll be in a way better position. Go ahead and assign this. I literally only have Field Marshal. Okay, I can't. Can I promote it? No, I can't promote anyone. Picks up some African warlords. Okay, well, Field Marshal Goring is going to go on a little bit of an adventure then. Oh dear lord. Oh dear lord, it declared war on literally everyone. What? At the castle, somewhere in the jungles of Goringia, a monstrous fortress towered above even the tallest of tree canopies. At first glance, it would seem that nobody was home, but in a remote corner of the structure, a dim light flickered. Hermann Goring, a veteran fighter, ace, and ruler of territory twice the size of Germany proper, smoked a cigar in his office as thunder rumbled outside. Every boom lit up the walls in his room, displaying the diverse array of wall mounts present, ranging from lions to giraffes to hippos, and everything in between. Goring sighed as he signed off on yet another document condemning a pygmy tribe to execution by firing squad. It was an unfortunate thing to have to do, but the tribes had only gotten in the way of his plans to transform Goringia into his personal domain, and they left him no choice. Soon, he thought, Goringia would be the most developed region in Africa, thanks to no small part his connections in German industry. Still, Goring was not content. There was much to do, and did not wish to disappoint the Kaiser and lose his position. His rivals had crowded around him for years, even after he sent his secret police to kidnap their families. For every one that he had disappeared, 2 more popped up. Goring studied the jungle outside of his window. The thunder that shook the jungle was now almost symbolic of the crisis he faced, but Goring knew that with enough determination, he would endure the coming crisis just as his jungle would. Absolute power was what Goring craved most, and he would not allow anyone to steal it from him in this last hour. Where did I put the morphine? Oh my God. What is this? Tribes break free of the Germans. Okay, now we have the actual collapse of Middle Africa. So that is actually going to break this down. It signs a peace deal? Peace deal. Wait, I got a peace deal? With everyone? Hold on, I thought I was at war with everyone. But, oh, damn, I actually get all this. So, we just need to sweep up through all this then. Let's rule through submission. You mad lad. All right, what do we have after that? Seed the poppies, where we grow our opium empire. Raise the armies. We get, a Goringian division. Okay, that's nice. Wait, hold on. Division attrition, minus 30%. Division speed, plus 15%. Defense, minus 30? But, what? What? What is this shit? Gather the funding, sound the drums, the pacification of Tangika grows, remove post-collapse instability, which, oh my God. Okay, we got to raise the armies first in the first place because we're at war, so we need to get that done. All right, quick, go and surround. Am I at war with Uganda? No, wait, who else am I at war with? Oh, Mozambique to the south. Okay, wow, that could actually be a bit of a problem. Okay, that is Rwanda wiped. Okay, excellent. Hermann von Goring, no, you are fine. Oh my God, the liberation forces, I won't actually be able to get through because they're also at war because this is just how it collapses. Quick, raise the armies. Pay in cash, pay in blood. Oh my God. Gather the funding. We're gonna need that. No, that's infrastructure. Seed the poppies. Seed them here. No, I don't need that. Sound the drums. Let's go ahead and get the war support and also fix the whole stability issue. The war drums beat once more. Goring calls to all loyal sons of the Vaterland in Africa will not go unheeded, for it is a call to stand by the Statthalter against the lawlessness that is consuming the continent. To war we march under the beat of Africa's true sovereign, Goring. All right, we just need to make our way all the way down. If we can just keep on attacking as fast as possible, we actually should be able to make it through pretty easily. Sound the drums. Issue the challenge or make no pretensions. Hold on. The sovereign will not bow to a few chiefs trying to rob the stadtholder of his ultimate victory over traitors of the fatherland. We will not appease the disloyal. The only response to treason will be destruction. And it's just like bending over and smashing a guy. Or make no pretensions. So what if a few chiefs demand more from the stadtholder? We could just pay them off, avoiding another conflict within our board. No, we crush them. Absolutely. Dinner and drinks. Ever since the day Middle Africa fractured, Hermann Goring had taken a liking to cooking. It was one of the only hobbies that had given him a feeling of peace. Today was no different, as Goring took it upon himself to prepare dinner for his guests. Tonight, the dish would be bratwurst, made fresh from his own pork. He was convinced it had to be a meal of stellar quality, for these were not just any guests, they were his rivals. Herr Bauer was among the men who would be joining him, though he was not a rival. Bauer was worse than a rival. He was useless and had been, ever since the hunting trip between the two, sent the man into shock. Goring sighed and sprinkled the cyanide on all the bratwursts except for his own, on which he sprinkled cocaine. Upon which he sprinkled cocaine instead. As he opened the doors to the dining room, still wearing his apron, he smiled at his seated guests. It saddened him that none of the men in the room seemed as happy to see him as he was happy to see them. But that just meant that he meant business. Goring shook his head and served everyone a dish with the sausage and seated himself with his own serving, the one with cocaine on it. He encouraged his guests to smell the oh-so-delicious food as he leaned down and sniffed the entirety of the bratwurst. His guests were disconcerted by this move, but they did so as well, not wanting to anger their host. As the men ate, Goring watched watched as each succumbed to the cyanide, with Herr Bauer, the last alive, trying to drink from his glass to save himself, only to realize it was blood he was consuming instead of wine. What the Goring suddenly felt a heat on his face, as he often did after snorting. What the... What is going on? Okay, next up after this here then, gather... no, we need stability. Pay in cash, which gets manpower. No, I don't need that manpower. Screw that. Pay in blood. Yes. More stability and political power, please. Oh, this determines what you'd get. Goring's 100, so you can get more attack and more defense, but less population and more training time. Or you just say, screw it, throw the entire population into the mix. Why not? Goring's troops will effortlessly overwhelm the enemy that crosses them. The Sovereign Tsar's army should be the largest and most terrifying force that Africa has ever seen. Why? Why? The most dangerous No, it's a hunt. Oh my god. Okay. Erbauer was a representative from Krupp Industries, ostensibly traveling to Dar es Salaam to promote closer ties between Goringia and the German Empire. However, when his plane arrived, he was taken for a 2-hour drive through bumpy white paths that could barely be considered roads, until finally arriving at the Goring Castle residence. Hermann Goring himself greeted Bauer at the door, wearing an outfit that seemed more fitting for a safari than a formal greeting. Indeed, Herr Bauer was told that the two men would be going on a hunt as soon as the new arrival changed into a more fitting attire. Later, as the pair set out on foot, Bauer found himself wondering why they were hunting so close to the castle. His thoughts were interrupted, however, by a buzzing of mosquitoes around his face. In the time it took to swat them away, he had almost lost track of Goring, who was apparently far more fit than he looked. The host called out to Bauer to keep up, lest he lose any chance of bagging his own kill by the end of the hunt. Bauer hurried to catch up, wondering if they would get a chance to discuss real business, but Goring stopped his guess, shushed him, and pointed to a clearing that was barely visible through the dense vegetation all around him. Bauer was barely able to glimpse something, a paw, a tail perhaps, before he disappeared. No, I'm not even gonna read this. But... they're hunting African tribesmen. This video genuinely might get me This is gonna be as bad as that one episode we did on Alaska. Oh my god. Yeah, everyone's gonna submit. After this, we gotta gather the funding, because to continue the legitimate government of Africa, we need funds, and at the moment, money is scarce and funds are running low. And many doubt that we will survive unless we gain new sources of income to continue Goring's war effort. Regardless of how we get these funds, we will gain the riches once more by raiding and slaughtering everything. No, literally, we're gonna take from people, cash in all of our chips, find some secret treasure, and then force everyone to pay us. Oh, god damn, wait, when the hell did I just get cleared on? Hold up. You little shits. Come on, push through. I just need to take the capital here so that I can finally just end this war. A life of luxury. As Hermann Goring lay awake in bed one night, he realized that he was missing something. He had control over a large chunk of a foreign Middle African colony, was become the richest man on the continent, and had servants to tend his every whim or need. Goring could not place his dissatisfaction until he thought of his all of extravagant outfits. Beautiful as they may be, he had little else to give life to his castle. Even his office was limited to a few wall mounts, and that room badly needed redecoration. Goring stood up, careful not to disturb his wife, and left the room. He called a meeting of his most trusted advisors, despite it being the middle of the night, and when everyone was seated, he began. He told his audience of eye-rubbing old German men that he wanted to build a new pool of massive size, with tiles made of gold making up the floor. A few of his advisors shook their head in confusion at the request, obviously not comprehending Goring's brilliance. To go along with his pool, he demanded a motorized surfboard so he could traverse his pool in comfort. His next request were a giraffe skin rug in every room and the house, a golden golden cigar, and a pair of eye massagers, which would puff air into his eyes to relieve them after a long day at work. Next, he was now wealthy enough to buy his own personal tank, and he demanded this be done at once. The roads were becoming too bumpy as of late, and he wanted to smoothen them out himself. Seeing one advisor drift off to sleep, Goring pulled out his pistol from his robe and shot the man 3 times in the torso. When the deed was done, Goring sat in his chair, put his feet up on the servant's back, and lit a cigar, smiling at how wide his it is now wide-awake advisors. What the absolute hell? They all saw ultimatum, of course, and then besides that, everything else is going to shit. Okay, that's kick you end, downed, or kick you land, something, I don't care. It's all gone. Mine. And we're gonna seed poppies everywhere. We need opium. We need a lot of it, and we need it now. We need to be sure to grow large amounts of opium everywhere we can. Plant the seeds everywhere. Yes. Now the finer things, oh my god, it's more of this crap. Hermann Goring was one of the few clever men who had profited from the collapse of Middle Africa, and he had done it by transforming the drug trade to serve his own ends. In fact, Goring had turned the African drug trade into the most profitable of its kind on Earth, but it was no easy task. Regardless of the collapse of Middle Africa meant the elimination of any regulation regarding production, sale, and consumption. This helped immensely, but what also helped was the region's natural richness in methamphetamines, among other drugs or drug ingredients. While Goring still forbade his soldiers from smoking cigarettes, nearly everyone in Goringia, native or otherwise, knew someone involved in the rapidly growing trade. And Goring was now, wait, hold on, so he does coke, but he doesn't let his soldiers smoke cigarettes? What? With free reign over the drug trade, Goring had turned it from a ragtag bunch of delinquents into a truly formidable organization, bribing politicians, circumventing laws, and addicting hundreds of thousands, if not millions. Now Goring was wealthy enough to enjoy the finer things in life, and that's just what he did. After renovating his jungle fortress, he decided to create a hippopotamus farm in which he would keep the animals for his own enjoyment, and of course to show off to visitors. He had the money to buy hundreds of different exotic outfits, more than he could ever dream of, and he even melted down skulls to serve as paint on one of his new automobiles. The best part of this was the newfound wealth was that he was not what he was able to buy. It's the fact that his prosperity had only just begun. What the fuck? What? I'm just now noticing how screwed up my green screen looks on here. I don't know why that is the case. Hold on. Okay, I fixed it instantly. I don't know what the hell was going on with that. Well, even as everything is going on and, chaotically over here in the north, we're just medicating. That's all. Good luck to you all. Now that we have a large enough supply of opium, we can begin selling it on the global stage. Yes. Amazing. They will work. Some are more than reluctant to do manual labor for Goring state. This cannot stand. Refusal to work is treason, and every single citizen of Goringia will be sent to work either in the battlefield or the factory. There's something to be said about what it is that I'm doing in Africa here, and I don't want to say it. And with they will work, that means that we have the sovereign beyond state. With initial pacification complete, Goring will set out on his most ambitious task, the complete restoration of law and order in Africa. Operating out of his base in Tanganyika, Goring has declared that he will not stop until every inch of land in former Middle Africa is pacified and under his complete control. While to some it may seem like suicide, to take on half of a continent, to Goring it is his sacred duty as protector and stallhalter of Africa. We shall decide to march across former Middle Africa and put to the weak and unworthy to the sword. Oh my god, I gain course on everything. Actually on everything. Don't get high if you're on supply. It was on a particularly busy day that Hermann Goring sat in his castle office, wishing he had his next supply of morphine from Germany. As his advisors droned on about the native workers being eaten by lions, Goring grew bored and began to daydream. He recalled that it was during the Weltkrieg that thousands of soldiers were afflicted by the soldier's disease, otherwise known as morphine addiction. However, Germany had been a hotspot for morphine since its creation in the region in 1804. Goring remembered how he himself developed an addiction to the substance after losing his eye to a nearby warlord during the first days of Middle Africa's collapse, and the prolific supply of poppy straw from the Ottoman Empire had meant that Goring had access to it ever since. Just when he thought he couldn't stand the incessant complaints of his advisors anymore, his secretary burst into the room with a fresh supply of morphine. Goring sighed with relief and made a mental note to refrain from shooting this secretary's captive brother later. He loaded it into his favorite gold-plated syringe and prepared his arm. As he injected the sweet substance into his veins, he felt all of his pain begin to subside. Now he could be the man he was meant to be, and he quickly dismissed his useless advisors, opting to begin signing the mountain of paperwork on his desk immediately. Oh my god! What is going on with this crap? Rampage. Lavish parties were a prime feature of the Goring Castle experienced. Any visitor to the fortress would happily tell anyone who asked. Tonight was no different in that regard. As Hermann Goring prepared to entertain business representatives from several German industrial companies, as well as a few from the aviation industry, he decided to dress up in the medieval hunter for the occasion, adding a working crossbow as yet another layer of his extravagant costume. He hoped to impress his guests with his skills in archery, but his desire to impress his guests was met by his own craving for pleasure. Goring sighed with relief as he leaned down to snort them. I can't read this stuff. You know what, if you want to, go ahead and read it yourself here for all the little details. Oh, no, wait, we decided to go on a rampage and start shooting people in the chest with the crossbow, like the guests who were there for the party. What? Another attempt at aurochs, always seeking new and larger beasts to hunt on safari, or even new beasts to take home as companions like his own pet lion cubs and his beloved Mucky. He flew out a bunch of biologists in order to be able to go and just start capturing animals? With his revived program starting anew, being paired with an initiative to create more hunting grounds, nature reserves, national parks, and zoos, and more around the state, as well as other breeding programs aimed at the creation of new beasts of wonder or the pseudo-revival. They're trying to breed super animals to hunt. What? Wait, what adds Mucky, which grants Minister of Interior what national? What do you mean adds Mucky? What is Mucky? What is his beloved Mucky? Is that a lion? Is that a dog? It's a lion. We made a lion our advisor. Uniting Africa under our fiefdom, secure Uganda, gain annex. Oh, I can take all this. and the chaos in Africa's dark heart. Oh, I can attack everything. I can attack everything. Okay, first off, Uganda, active for 14 days. When removed, gains annex war goal against Uganda. Let's do it. Getting clean. Wait, hold on. I'm not using. Okay, well, hey, that's pretty nice. It's pretty nice that we're not doing this. That's great. Goring's once normal teeth had yellowed, rotting in place, and his eyes had deep bags under them. Regardless of how much sleep he got one night or another, Goring made a decision. It was time to quit. The next day, though, as Goring tossed the severed head of a servant to his new pet lion, he found himself craving that sweet release of morphine. Oh my god. Oh, I got rid of my addiction. Awesome. With that, we're done here, right? Like, there's nothing else for me to do. So I'll just focus on air production so I can just like create more stuff. But I genuinely don't know what else it is that I'm supposed to do, because I guess that's the end of his focus tree until he unites Africa. So let's do it then. After this, what do we have next? Sweep up through Rhodesia. Yeah, we got that. No, the Kivu Click. Would that be one in here? Yeah, let's go after the Kivu Click next, because that's right next door. Go ahead and take that. Ooh, they had planes. Hey, I will take that. Thank you very much. Next up, you, who is currently at war with Leopoldville thing. Yeah, goodbye. The match. It had been years since Goring swore off morphine. Wait, no, it hadn't been years. It's been like 2 months. And in the meantime, his physique had recovered significantly. In fact, as a lean 100 kilograms, Goring was quite athletic for his age. As of late, he had been eager for any opportunity to show off his physical prowess for an audience, to show his people who ruled him. And so he has a boxing match. A young man calling himself Idi Amin. Wait, no. Okay, for those of you who all don't know who Idi Amin is, that is a famous dictator in history. Oh my god. Freaking Idi Amin, king of Amin had told Goring in broken German that Goring would address him as king of all beasts on the earth and fish in the sea when he was done with him. To this, Goring said that he already was indeed an animal, though he would never be fit to be a king. Oh god. Goring stood over his foe as the man was counted out, then knelt down to sever Amin's head from his body. He then took the head back to his castle. When it arrived, he placed the head in a water tank next to his bed, so that he may look upon Amin's face in times of difficulty. Now, who said a rival couldn't be turned into a friend? What the What? The absolute hell. All right, that means, let's see, next one, the Mercenaries de Congo, right? Yes, okay, I don't like how they were trying to take over everything here, so let's go ahead and wipe these guys out next. They're currently dealing with a civil war, so we should be able to just sweep through them once they're distracted. Goodbye, mercenaries, you're next. Oh, come on, we just need to push through here. We're dealing with all these mercenaries on the side. I just need to wipe these out because I'm steadily draining myself of basically all my equipment for artillery. Okay, that takes care of that then. All right, let's see. Next up on here, Northern Rhodesia. Could I do that one? Union Minaire. You know, we're basically just needing a montage of just crushing through everything here. Huh, they're actually putting up a decent fight through some of this. Well, let's just try and break our way through then. Wait, hey, Leopoldville, you dirty bastards, hold up. Nope, you're not gonna just do that here. Annexing my rightful kill. For shame, good sir. After that, Northern Rhodesia, go ahead and wipe you out. There's the fall of the Congo, and I think we are actually nearing, well, close to the end here at this point, at least of this part. And now that we've conquered all of this, I have to get the Bornu Emirate, which was currently just conquered by the French national state. But that means that I have to now wage war with Egypt. So that's fun. Well, this is this is not what I expected to be happening here right now. And with that, my friends, we have the fall of Namibland. Namibland. That blah 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 blah. It doesn't matter. With that, at the end of 1941, we have restoration. Hermann Goring could hardly believe what he was seeing. The last few months have been hellish, especially for his troops, but as Goring's servants replaced his wall mount heads with heads of his rivals, he could not help but smile. Hutig, Mahero, von Oldenburg, and Amin all decorated Goring's office. Oh my god. Why is this a thing? The warlord had even managed to get his hands on the broken body of Mzee Hussein Onyago Obama and had severed his head for a spot on his wall. Now, as Goring sat staring at the faces of his vanquished foes, he thought of all the adventures he and his men had along the way. You know, it's not about the death and destruction, guys. It's about the friends you made along the way. Firebombing the Fulani, gassing the Gabonese. Oh my god, I can't say these things. His victory had come not from any advantage in manpower, technology, or even wealth, for that matter. Instead, he'd prevailed through sheer willpower, and perhaps with the help of certain stimulants as well, which allowed him to work longer hours than his rivals. His air force was one of the best in the world, and his tanks had thundered across the continent. For the unveiling of new wall mounts, Goring had decided to outfit himself in the costume of a Teutonic knight, imagining himself as a heroic soldier going forth to eradicate his foes with the help of God. Okay, my wife is staring at me right now here as I'm saying this aloud. It is 1:30 in the morning, or it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm sorry, Gabby, you have to hear this. It seems that the triumphant man had finally achieved his goal. Now, though, with Middle Africa restored, Goring's work was not over. In fact, it was only just beginning. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Are you going to give me a new focus? A new something? Don't tell me that I have to go and invade Germany now. Betrayal. Hermann Goring said in his office, he put his... No! I don't want to do this anymore. I can't. I'm tired, please. The Kaiser apparently is insulting me. Like, I'm not actually a ruler for... Okay. All right. Can he even hold a rifle? Hermann von Goring sat atop his throne of skulls, savoring his victory. He had done it. Against all odds, he had done the unthinkable, conquered the entirety of former Middle Africa. Yet to him, there was still more to be desired. He might have had copious amounts of money, drugs, men, and land, but something was missing. Oh, God. Long live the King of Africa. He thought back to the letter he received from the Colonial Affairs Ministry offering a position in charge of reformed Middle Africa if he were to surrender to Germany. He scoffed at them. The audacity of bureaucrats wanted to take away the victory he'd fought so hard to earn. He thought of Berlin, all the arrogant men in suits who wanted to preside over a land they had never set foot in. It disgusted Goring. He thought about the Kaiser, a man who he had once respected, a man who he once swore an oath to, a man he lost any respect for once he abandoned him and his men in the Dark Continent. The ignorance of the man. He wanted to be treated as King of Africa, yet had he ever been in the continent? Had he ever fought in battle to claim his legacy? Had he ever fought for the empire in his family's name? The answer was a resounding no. The Kaiser had no right to claim the title of King of Africa. If anyone of the world, had a claim to the title of King of Africa, it was Goring, and Goring alone. He played around with the words in his head. King of Africa. Sounded nice. Sounded like a title he'd rightfully earned. After a moment of hesitation, a moment of debate with himself, he made a snap decision. Goring was to be king of all Africa and beyond. He had earned his title of king more than anyone else in the Reich, more than anyone else in the world. A crown was to be made, a coronation held, and everyone would hear the glories of Hermann I, rightful king of Africa. I'm done. I'm not, even if there's more to do. Guys, I'm done. There's too much here. There's too much. He's got a crown. One eye, a crown, covered in blood. You know, we're calling it here. Even if there's other stuff that I could technically do with this, guys, I have to go and finish this off. I gotta go to bed here soon. That is easily one of the most hilarious things I've seen in here yet. Besides the whole thing that we would see with Alaska and their complete dominance of North and South America, this was easily one of the most wild focuses I have seen. Entertaining, takes a long time to make, but oh my god, that was fun. I highly recommend that anyone watching this right now go check out the mod and have fun with it yourself. This is wild. My friends, I will see you all here next time. Thank you all for watching, and let's do another Kaiserredux A to Z sometime. Remember to like the video, comment, subscribe, and goodbye, my friends.